I was just praying that Swami, give me guidance, give me your answer. Extended his hand like this, plucked the letter from my hand and went away without even looking at me, without even looking at that letter. My educational career is concerned, one thing that I was very clear about when I was in my school, that I wanted to pursue my engineering and then go abroad, do my MS and settle down there. This was very clear in my mind. And with Bhagwan's grace, I got admission into a good college in Bombay. I was very clear what my academic path is going to be. And I was almost near the completion of my engineering, and the year was 1992, when the first time, inspired by the seva that I was doing in Dharmakshetra, I thought I should go to Prashanti Nilayam to do Prashanti Seva. So 92 September, I had some holidays from college and I went to Prashanti Nilayam, my first ever Prashanti Seva. Typically, when it came to Sevadal Pad Namaskar, Swami would receive letters. Normally, he had that, always has that special corner for Sevadal. A chance of talking very remote. So the day previous to the Pad Namaskar day for us, we were in the room, and when we were talking about what anticipation of what will happen the next day, both my mother and brother Litesh asked me, why not you ask Bhagavan what you should do now that you are in final year of engineering, what you should do after your engineering is over. So my immediate thought in my mind was that I am very clear that what I want to do. I want to complete engineering and go out and do MS. But anyway, I had another thought that it's a good chance that I can pray to Bhagavan to bless me in my academic career. I will get a chance to be near him and maybe even take his blessings for my future academics. So as I said, fine. So there was no assurity of any conversation, any talk. So I said, one good way of doing is what we call it as the sixth way of sadhana, bhakti sadhana, which is the postal sadhana, letter. That is the typical slang in hostel. We call it the sixth type of bhakti, postal bhakti. So I wrote a letter in which, a small letter, half page, praying to Bhagavan that Swami, I am in my final year and please guide me what I should do. Please bless me. And we did a small mock rehearsal of what typically the session would be. Typically when Swami would walk, he will be very brisk. So you will hardly get 1 or 2 seconds to offer letter, take Pad Namaskar, if at all a conversation, that is if you are blessed. So we did a mock practice that what we should do. So the idea is that to save on time, the whole thing was the moment Swami enters our aisle, I would sit on my knees like Vajrasan in that pose. So when Swami comes near, I can quickly get up, give my letter, and if possible, talk to Bhagavan. Swami came in that, as he came towards us, I went on my knees and I offered my letter to Bhagavan. That is, in this photo, it is brother Litesh who is offering letter and I am next to him, ready to get my chance. So as Swami came near, I offered my letter to Bhagavan and I quickly uttered to him, Swami, engineering ke final year mein hu, uske aage kya karna? So Swami was busy taking so many letters and blessing chocolates and so many things. So immediately there was no response. So I didn't want to miss Pad Namaskar. So I quickly bent down, took Namaskar. As I got up, Swami had already gone about 2 steps ahead, but he stopped. He turned and he said, huh? As if to ask, what did you say? So I again repeated, Swami. I just went ahead near him and said, Swami, engineering ke final year mein hu, iske baad kya karna? So Swami looked into my eyes and very, very simply he just said one sentence, chance milega to MBA karo. Mark the words, chance milega to MBA karo. This is what he said and he moved ahead. And what we spoke about alchemist in the beginning, the alchemist requires just one touch to change the life. After that episode, when I came back to room, I told my mother and Litesh that if at all I do anything after my engineering, it is MBA in Bhagwan's college, nothing else. The whole plan changed. And I was absolutely charged up that let me now prepare myself to appear for the entrance exam in Prashanti Nilayam. So thanks to our Sevadal group in Dharmakshetra, I got a lot of guidance from my seniors. 93, I completed my engineering, and typically the exams go on till June. So that year, of course, I couldn't apply. I got a campus placement and started working in Mumbai. And next year I applied as planned. And I was absolutely clear. Bhagwan has given a go ahead, given the blessings. Everything will be through. So to tell you honestly, I didn't prepare well for the exam. I thought it will be all okay. I purchased some 1 or 2 books, prepared, just went through a little bit, and went for the exams, April of 1994. And when the question paper came, there is a multiple choice question paper. When the paper came, I was floored because it was really tough for me. And I thought I won't clear. And there is a negative marking, so you can't guess. So I attempted whatever I could, prayed to Bhagwan, whatever I could apply my logical reasoning, and wrote, marked some answers, came out. I was totally down, and I thought I'm off. I won't be able to, because there is a filtering after the written exams. Only if you have certain qualifying marks in the written exam, you can go for group discussion and interview. So I thought this is very difficult because I have not done well. So I prayed to Bhagwan in the evening bhajans in Mandir. Next day morning, the list will be put up in college. So I went there hesitatingly next day morning. Went through the list. My name didn't appear somewhere on top. So I just ran through. Somewhere in the end, my name was there. And I was greatly relieved that this is Swami's grace. He's really kind that he has taken me off the written exam. And I was very sure I will do well in group discussion and interview, because I had a lot of plus points. One, I belonged to a Sathya Sai family right from my childhood. Two, I had done my engineering, which generally gets a preference in MBA course. Three, I was a Sevadal in Dharmakshetra. And four, I had some work experience as well. So that is added qualification. So I was very sure it will go on well, and it did. The group discussion was fairly well. So there was some grilling as usual from registrar and vice chancellor, but that is happens usually. But I replied well, finished the exams, and I had to come back to Mumbai because I was still working in Mumbai. I didn't have that many holidays. It was my first year of working. So I came back and I had told somebody in Prashanti that when the results come up about 10 days later, you please let me know. For me as a trainee, that was my first year as a training. So getting out of the organization was just 1 week notice. So I was prepared. As soon as the results come out, I'm selected, I drop my papers and come off. And I was really prepared well in terms of my luggage and what I have to prepare to come to Prashanti Nilayam. And about 10 days later, when the results were announced, I get a call from Vrindavan. The results, because Swami is in Vrindavan, the typical system is the shortlisted candidates list goes to Vrindavan, it is presented to Bhagwan. Bhagwan approves it, and then it is published. So the Sai sister from there called up, and we were about 6 of us from Dharmakshetra who had applied. So she starts reading one by one. Oh, this person, he got UG. This person, he got MSc and something. I thought my thing will come in the end, MBA, post-graduation later. And she read out 4 or 5 names. My name didn't come. And in the end, she said, Neeraj bhai, your name is not there in the list. And I was completely shattered. This was in the office around 2:30 in the afternoon. And I was absolutely shattered, shaken to the core. And I just didn't know what to do. And I told my senior then that I am not well, I have to go back home. And I rushed back. I went home and cried. And I was in a way a little cut up with Bhagwan also. I wanted to do engineering and MS. You asked me to do MBA. I applied and then you disqualify. I mean, this is not fair. This was my thought process. So I was one way a bit despondent, a bit agitated, and I was sobbing. When I reached home, my mother said, don't take it to your heart. Maybe next year you should try. But then what is the assurity of next year? That and then your monkey mind starts playing. So I used to think that Swami said, chance milega to MBA karo. So where is the assurity, right? Chance milega to MBA karo. He didn't assure me of this. Second thought which comes, MBA, is it MBA degree, or that time we used to often have this thing that MBA is mind on Baba always. You better keep your mind on Baba always. Forget about the degree. All these sort of thoughts come into my mind, and what would happen? I was in a, this, suddenly this, you get this dilemma. Should I continue studying or I just forget and continue my seva in Dharmakshetra? What happened was, I didn't want to give up, of course. So I joined a CAT training course in Mumbai. And what would happen in the classes will typically happen on on weekdays late in the evening, and on Saturdays, Sundays, we'll have exams and tutorials. So because of that, I was not able to come to Dharmakshetra that often because I had to go for the classes. So there, the mind started playing again. See, now you are preparing for MBA, you are not able to come to Dharmakshetra. You are not sure whether you will get seat in Prashanti. Why to waste time? So I said, the best way for this is ask the Guru. Guru is the one who corrects. He will tell me what is the right path. Should I apply or not apply? What is the way to ask Bhagwan? That time, there was not much chance to get direct guidance from Bhagwan. Incidentally, it happened again. It was in the month of, I think it was October of 94. All of us, the whole family, we went to, Swami was in Vrindavan that time. So we went to Vrindavan, had beautiful darshans. And my father was working. So after 4 or 5 days, all of them came back to Mumbai. I had some extra days leave, so I stayed back. I wanted to get that answer from Bhagwan. It is yes or no. And I had told Bhagwan, you tell me, I am ready to accept whatever you say. If you say no, I am okay to drop my entrance exam and I will not apply to Prashanti. But please give me a clear answer. Bhagwan will not give you answer so easily unless your devotion and your prayers are very strong. So many days passed, Swami, I will get always the token number which was in double digits. Or if I get a single digit token and get some chance to go ahead, Swami may not come. If you see in Vrindavan, the distance between 2 blocks is quite wide. So many times I got first line, but he would go from some other block. And there was no chance to be near Bhagwan to ask him for direction. So I said, again, the easiest way to get answer is again through a letter. So I prayed to Bhagwan that I will write a letter to you asking your advice. And the deal with you is that if you take this letter, which is less likely in my mind, if you take this letter, it is your indication that I should continue with my MBA preparation. If you don't take the letter, is the answer from you that don't prepare, focus on your job and your Dharmakshetra seva and be happy. I said, I'm ready. And that is that is the agreement I had with Bhagwan. And I wrote the letter and sat in darshan ground till Swami will not come near. Once or twice he saw the letter but didn't take. So this was a day before I was supposed to go back. In the morning, there was a beautiful darshan like this. Swami would come down and go around the hall. Swami didn't come near. Afternoon, typically in Vrindavan, in those days, Swami will not come down for darshan. The music will start. Swami will come directly onto the stage, sit on the stage, and after some time indicate for the bhajans to start. Bhajans will start. He will take arati and go, and then Trai session. So there won't be a darshan session in which Swami will take a round. So evening was absolutely no chance. So only one darshan was left, was the last day morning. So this previous day evening, I went for bhajan. I sat in Sai Ramesh Hall. And the music started. And we were waiting for Bhagwan to come. And there was this beautiful wooden door which was prominent at that point, because we would keep on looking at that door, and door opens and Swami enters on the stage. So we kept on looking at the door. A long time passed by, unusually long time, and Swami didn't come. And suddenly there was a hush, and Swami was coming from the side road of the Sai Ramesh Hall. He came from there. There was a group of devotees had come, I don't know from where, and Swami came to bless them. So he blessed those devotees and came inside Sai Ramesh Hall and started going around the Ramesh Hall like a usual darshan. So as one would expect, this should send the waves of joy for me, but it was not so. I really was shattered because I had not brought my letter with me. Because I assumed Swami won't come down. And I said, what to do? I had two minds, whether I can get up, rush to my room, which was outside the ashram compound, but if I get up, Sevadal will catch me and I finished. So I didn't know what to do, and I had a book with me. That time books were allowed to be taken to darshan ground. So I had this beautiful book on Bhagavan, which is Loving God by Kasturiji, one of the most beloved books for Sai fraternity. So when I looked at that book, I said, Bhagavan, you are the loving God, and why are you playing with me like this? And what should I do? And I just flipped through the book, and as I flipped through, I find my letter inside the book. It was not a miracle, by the way. What had happened was, that day morning, when I went back to my room after morning darshan, my letter was in my pocket, and I kept it on the table in the hotel room, and it was flying because the fan was on. So I just took it so that it should not fall down and put it inside the book to preserve it. And I didn't know that I had put it inside the book, and I carried it in the evening without knowing that the letter was with me. So the letter was indeed with me, and then I prayed to Bhagavan, Swami, our agreement is very clear. Today is the last chance probably. If you take this letter, I continue with my studies for MBA. Otherwise I drop. The moment I go back to Mumbai tomorrow, I drop my preparations and focus on my sadhana and my seva. So again, one more thing I told Bhagavan was, as you have said, I will not get up from my seat. I was in third row in the block I was sitting. I said, I will not get up. I will stretch, but as a discipline, I should not get up. So I will not go in front. If you want to take the letter, you will take from wherever you are. So that is very clear. So I kept on praying this, and Swami kept walking, came. He entered the block where I was sitting. And as it would normally happen, he was walking from the other side, from the next block, not towards my side. And I said, this is again a lost chance. But anyway, I was clear that if he doesn't take letter, the answer is clear. Swami came halfway through, actually turned towards where I was sitting, came very near, didn't even look at me. There was some foreigner sitting in front of me. Swami started talking to him something. Some asked him something which I was in no mind to hear what he was talking. I was just praying that, Swami, give me guidance, give me your answer. And I was just trying to extend my letter as much as possible to the front. So Swami was standing like this, about 3 feet away. I am stretching this letter. Swami spoke to that foreigner for about 10-15 seconds, completed the conversation, turned and started going, didn't even look at me. As he turned and he was going, and I almost thought of going back. I was in my knees. I thought of going down and sitting. He just extended his hand like this, plucked the letter from my hand and went away without even looking at me, without even looking at that letter. And that was the indication. He said that continue to your studies. And after I came back, I completely focused on my entrance exam. I wrote CAT exam so that I get ready for my MBA entrance exam in Prashanti. I remember I started jogging in the morning in Mumbai so that when I go to Prashanti Nilayam, I won't find it odd because jogging was compulsory those days in hostel. So I started preparing all that I would need in Prashanti Nilayam. And with Bhagwan's blessing, in 95 when I applied, I did get opportunity to join Bhagwan's college. But in this whole episode, Bhagwan sent one more message, that don't take Swami for granted. Swami's grace is there forever, but you have to put your efforts. This was a big learning I had, which I have kept in my mind all through my life. And I remember one occasion, in one private session, one senior devotee was presenting some problem in life, I think in his business. And he kept on telling Swami, I need your blessings, I need your grace. And Swami's reply was, my grace is there, sir. Where is your effort? My grace is there. Where is your effort? And that was a big learning for me, that only Bhagwan's grace is not enough. We have to put our efforts. And that's what Swami sort of made me go through before I joined his college in Prashanti.